This is Georgetown, the podcast. Georgetown County and the city. Georgetown is growing, changing, expanding, and blossoming. The Hammock Coast of South Carolina. It's a renaissance. This is Georgetown, the podcast. Here's your host, Scott Richards.
Welcome once again to our Georgetown, the podcast. Georgetown, the podcast is something that we do because Georgetown is exploding. Georgetown is quite the place. And our guest today is Bob Willey. Bob Willey is the president of the Friends of Georgetown Library. And we're going to talk about something that you're doing for the holidays, but I want to circle back around just a little history because, like most of us, you are not a native of this area, although we have talked to a few. Bob, your background is?
Academics. My wife and I moved here to Georgetown 11 years ago. She is a retired fourth grade teacher, and I'm a retired college dean. And we love Georgetown.
I'm curious, what drew you to the Georgetown community?
Well, it was somewhat accidental. I've often pointed out to people that I regret to say I never came to Myrtle Beach. I don't play golf.
Wow, you're the one.
But my job brought me on occasions to North Charleston. And
Sure.
As my wife and I were looking for a place to retire, what we did was explore all along the coast. We wanted to be out of the snow. We were tired of the snow in Massachusetts. And we're looking for a small town with a vital downtown area, walkable. We love history and we love the Atlantic coast. And we had been searching all the way from southern New Jersey to Georgia. And I had an extra day on a rental car while I was working in Charleston, drove up along the coast, drove up onto Front Street in Georgetown, called my wife on the phone in Massachusetts and said, I think I just found where we're going to retire.
Oh, wow. Wow. And that was the first time you'd been?
As first time I'd ever been here. And it was a wonderful experience then. And as I said previously, love the place. We loved it the day we moved in. We love it more now, 11 years later.
Well, Georgetown has changed a lot over the many years, but even in the as you said, the last decade or so that since you've been here, things are really hopping. I mean, we've referred to it as a renaissance of sorts. Georgetown is really going through a renaissance, a positive growth, although there are some people that maybe don't always see things that way. But what have you noticed? What is maybe the biggest impact you've seen on the growth, the changes?
Well, I think a busyness is, what you're referring to as well. We're going to be talking about the Friends of the Library, but we're also involved with the Business Association, with the YMCA, with the Maritime Museum and volunteer service. And in all of those locations, I'm talking about the nonprofit world, it's just an increased utilization of those services and see what is the excitement that's there as people look to, appreciate the past, but also excited about the future.
Oh, I like that. Appreciate the past, excited about the future.
That's because you're talking to a retired, also history professor.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Well, and I think what will surprise people is go down just on Front Street itself, because if you haven't been there, and many people will say haven't been down there in 10 years, it's so different and so positive of what's happening in Georgetown. And that's just on Front Street.
And throughout the town. So as I say, with nonprofits and where we're involved in volunteer service at the library, the resources and the facilities there have been significantly improved and developed just in the last decade.
So let's talk a little bit about Georgetown Library, the history of and where it stands today. Talk a little bit about, in general, the library, the Georgetown Library.
Well, the library itself is actually the second oldest in South Carolina, and they just celebrated their 225th anniversary.
Oh, my.
So it goes way back, has quite a wonderful history.
Wow.
I'll speak to it from a perspective of when we came here to Georgetown. My wife and I were looking at where do we want to invest our time in our retirement, and particularly volunteer service. First for us was our church, but beyond that, we wanted to be involved in some other capacity. And as we explored through that first year we lived here, we just found the library was really the center of the community, with people utilizing it, and in particular, diversity of people, racially, age-wise. It was really a wonderful mixing place. And so that was why our decision was made. Let's get involved. And when we arrived, there had been a few years before a friends group, but it had dissipated. And so a group of us got together, had a meeting, and my joke is that they said, who would like to lead this group? And who stepped forward, and everybody else stepped back, and I was left there by myself. And that was 10 years ago. And I love it. It's just a wonderful place to volunteer. It's a great group of people, staff who are there, who are providing the services for the community, and really reaching out and trying to serve all ages and all communities within Georgetown. So it's just, again, one of those things that the more you get to know it, the more you're impressed.
Tell us a little bit about the location, the activities, the strengths of, what is happening with the library in general.
A lot right now, actually, and it has to do with some new staff that have come on board. We've had a great history with great staff in the past, but in particular, and this is where the Friends come along, the Friends of the Georgetown Library, our particular emphasis is supporting the children's programs. And that's one of the areas where, although the county is very generous with financial support as well as the state and federal government, but on a local level and providing programs for children, for instance, that's where the Friends of the Library come along and provide financial assistance to provide reading programs, music programs, additional resources that can be utilized on occasions. And so we have a very full-fledged active program of reading and music for children, which is a wonderful outreach to the community, as well as now increasingly working with adults, a whole series of programs and activities, crafts, exercise activities, not in competition with other organizations in the community, but working complementarily, saying that word, to be able to reach out and serve not only the children of the community, but the adults as well.
You're watching or listening to Georgetown, the podcast.
Touch on some of those activities outside of the holidays. I'm a big fan of libraries in general. My wife is a retired school librarian and elementary school teacher, so I have constantly been aware of the activities of libraries and the books that are there, and having grown up in a family that reads a lot. You touch on the activities that really make a big difference to that community.
Well, I think one of the things you just said is very, very important, and that is reading is still something that kids are doing.
That's
they're
good
involved.
to hear.
Yeah, and it is. It's exciting. And I love the emphasis at the library where there is a strong emphasis on the importance of reading and the importance of family, of bringing the family together so that a mother, a father, a grandmother, a grandfather, aunt and uncle can be a part of what is the upbringing of the child, and including actively reading in that. I've mentioned a couple of times music as well, which is a fun thing. We have several music programs for them. But in doing all of that, it's with the intent of making the library a friendly place and a place in which children easily can come and feel comfortable, that it's a home for them, so that can continue over into the teen years. Because one of the things that's very popular at the library right now is the use of the computers. In some cases, it's for people who just don't have the resources to be able to have it at their own homes, but as well for teenagers who like to play games and with one another. And so you've got this very active late afternoon time in which the teenagers are there. I'm assuming that homework's gotten done somewhere in there.
I'm sure it has. Yes, I'm sure it has.
But the kids seem to really enjoy that. And then moving on to the adults, that the adults feel comfortable and also welcomed. So one of the things that have started to happen, and I mentioned they've started craft, bingo, exercise classes, line dancing. I'm just trying to think some of the things off the top of my head that have become, increasingly, painting, writing. So there's a lot of things that are going on at the library to encourage people to come and participate.
Go ahead and mention, where exactly is it located?
Yes, thank you. It's on Cleveland Street. The one in Georgetown is one of 5 in the county system. There's one down in the southern part of the county, one in Carver's Bay, one in Andrews, one in Waccamaw, and which one have I left out? But there's 5. There's 5 libraries that have come together and are part of the county system. This one is on Cleveland Street, just off of 17. In fact, if you're driving down along Route 17 on Church Street, you will go past the library heading south. You'll see it on the left-hand side. In fact, it just recently got expanded in new landscaping through a very generous contribution that was made, as well as the county's contribution with a new auditorium, which is what you can see there on the end of Route 17.
And that brings us to this big event. Let's talk about the holidays. Tell us what it is, and then go back to the beginning and when it started.
What we have coming up is our major fundraiser for the year. And again, I repeat that it's for the children's reading programs at the library, and that is our annual Yuletide Home Tour. This is our 23rd year that we've been doing this, and it's an opportunity to be able to really push the beauty of the historic district, and now we've been expanding a bit on that, but the beauty and the diversity of the historic district. Now, this goes back 23 years. I've been a part of the program now for 11 years. And again, Scott, talking about growth, when we first came on at the beginning of this, it was about 150 people participating. Last year, we were at 770, and this year we'll easily exceed 800.
Nice.
So the program is really rapidly growing and bringing in a great diversity of people from North Carolina. We have some people from Virginia that come down now. So it's become a draw to come to Georgetown. Georgia, I should keep going. Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, and South Carolina are the areas in which people are coming. What we've been doing, and again, is the idea of really pushing what is the beauty of the historic district. And we generally include, what we've included is 10 to 12 homes. This year we have 11 homes that are private homes that are decorated for the holidays. And individuals who participate in the tour have the opportunity to be able to visit each of those homes. In addition to that, what we expanded a couple of years ago was to include our faith community. And each year we include 2 houses of worship. And finally, just, I guess it's right after COVID, in recognizing how we can be supporting other nonprofits in the community, we also now include a number of the museums in town. So for this year, we'll have 11 homes, 2 churches, and 4 museums participating in the Yuletide Home Tour.
So is this a scheduled event, a specific date? How does all this work? And kind of walk through the logistics.
Well, it'll be on Saturday, December 13th, just a short time away, Saturday, December 13th. And it is from 1 to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And it's self-guided. And we tell people that, oftentimes people ask, well, can you walk to all of them? Well, if you're a quick walker, but they tend to be clustered. And we provide a list of the homes and churches and museums, as well as a map to help them out. Because a lot of people, as I say, are coming out from out of town to be able to participate, but they can drive and sort of stop in an area, visit several of the places, and then get in the car and travel. And it's sort of fun. In the last few years, we've had very good weather, and we're hopeful the same this year. The town is just busy with people walking, and it's fun to see that.
The homes are historic, old homes. Talk a little bit about what you're going to see.
We have homes that go from the 1700s, 1730s are the oldest, is the oldest home, all the way through to 1940s. So, for instance, this home, our home, we have our home on the tour every few years, and our home was constructed in 1948, but we also have some pre-Revolutionary War homes that are a part of the tour. And so it gives a good diversity of the history of Georgetown, all the way from its earliest period through the Atlantic Coast Lumber Company, which is the early 1900s. There's quite a group of homes that were built during that period of time, and then all the way up to just after the Second World War.
People are touring the homes. Does that mean You just open your doors and people wander through the house?
Sort of. We almost have 60 volunteer docents who assist us with the project, volunteers from the Friends of the Library who are in the homes just to keep an eye on things and help people out, give direction. We don't do a lot of history. Unfortunately, the time doesn't permit with just 1 to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The plantation tours, with which I'm sure you're familiar, have a lot of history involved, and my wife and I volunteer to assist with that. That's a little bit different. This is a walk around, enjoy yourself, celebrate the holidays, and appreciate the different way by which families have their homes decorated.
This is a holiday decorated home event. Some of them, I'm sure, are really well done with all kinds of lights. Maybe some are a little bit more old fashioned, but basically you walk into the house and the hosts are happy to have you, and that's kind of a fascinating thing. It's like, I'd like to go inside that house.
Yep.
And so you're doing this as a homeowner. Sometimes
people aren't willing because they say, oh, we can't decorate a lot. Well, actually, one of the more popular homes over the last few years is a gentleman who puts a few candles in windows and has a decorated tree, and that's it. So there doesn't have to be a lot. In our home, for instance, I guess I'd say our selling point is that we have almost 250 nativities.
Oh my goodness!
So when you come through, if you want, you can try to count. But in other words, there's all kinds of different things and ways in which they decorate.
And let's talk about how do we become a part of this, because it's fascinating to just see all the different types and the styles, and how far away are they?
I should also mention, Scott, that one of the things is that we do not repeat homes from one year to the next.
Okay, so if I went last year, this is a whole new thing.
This is a whole new thing, and in fact, we're very excited. This year we have of those that are participating, 4 homes that have never been on the tour before.
Okay.
And one of the churches that has not been on the tour before. So we're very excited about that. So it's something that people will enjoy even if they've come in previous years. And sometimes it's nice to come back and see different decorations.
Sure.
People who are interested in participating, there are 2 ways by which to get tickets for it. One is to stop at any of the branch libraries to pick those up. The tickets are $25. For non-members, if you are a member of any of the Friends group of the Georgetown Library system, and each library has one like we have, there's an Andrews Friends group, there's a Waccamaw Friends group, Southern Library, and so forth. And with each of those, if you do, is $20.
Okay.
You can buy them either at any of the branches up through the day of the tour, up to the day before the tour, excuse me, or you can buy it online at MyFogel, Fogl, that's our initials, Friends of Georgetown Library, myfogl.org. You can go online. If you come to the libraries, we ask that you have cash or check. We do not have credit card possibilities, but on the online, it's credit card only.
Practically speaking, you buy the ticket, then what?
Then the day of the tour, and we explain the day of the tour to come to the Georgetown Library. Okay. And they're at the Georgetown Library to pick up a copy of the map. And there's a wristband then that we give out to everybody just for an ID to be able to participate. We have an added component, and that is at the library. We also work with local craftspeople, and we have what we call a Santa shop, which is a craft show. So people can do a little bit of buying prior to that. So they can show up anytime after 10 o'clock on Saturday the 13th at the library to pick up their maps. The tour itself begins at 1 o'clock and goes till 5 o'clock. You probably won't be able to get in detail for every place, particularly if you stop at some of the museums. Right. But it's a case where you can get to see most of the homes and most locations.
Which museums are included this year?
The museums are included. First of all, it's the Kaminsky House. We're very happy about that.
Which is worth it just for that.
It exactly is, because they are beautifully decorated for the holidays. Right. And so you have the Kaminsky House. The Gullah Museum here in Georgetown, which is a location that a lot of people don't get to. And so we're thrilled to partner with the Rodriguez family there at the Gullah Museum and to be able to have a lot of people visit and then come back later, which is a nice thing for them with their families. The South Carolina Maritime Museum, which again gives a good history of what's been happening in the seafaring component of our history. And then finally, the County Museum, which just recently opened an excellent Revolutionary War exhibit, particularly emphasizing Francis Marion and his role in the Revolutionary War. So, I mean, it's just those parts. And Scott, I've mentioned churches. One is Prince George Windyaw, which is the oldest historic church, the Anglican church in town. Mm-hmm. And then just nearby, and I mentioned for the first time, we're really thrilled to have Bethel AME, African Methodist Episcopal Church, on our tour, which has not been able to be open for a number of years to the public, primarily because of the tragedy of what took place in Charleston several years ago. But the pastor there and I have worked things out, and we're really excited about being able to visit. That is a beautiful church inside that a lot of people have not had the opportunity to see.
And this is a one-day event. I guess that's enough to ask of homeowners that, hey, let me open up for an afternoon to up to 800 people tramping through your house.
Exactly.
So let's remind people again to get tickets. And again, this is on December 13th, Saturday. Best place to go, the website. If you are not in Georgetown and you want to do this ahead of time, remind us again.
It is myfogl, myfogl.org. And it is there that you can go to events and then to the Yuletide Home Tour. And tickets are available there online. You identify whether you're a member of one of the Friends groups in Georgetown County, or if you pay for the full amount, which is $25.
It sounds great, and we wish you the best of luck. I hope this is going to be a record-breaking year. It is the Yuletide Home Tour, and it's a chance to experience the history of Georgetown. Also a good reason to be in Georgetown, and I'm just going to go ahead and make a plug. Might want to think about making some reservations to some of these wonderful restaurants in Georgetown, because right after the tour you could go. It's just there's nothing like it. Well, Bob Willey, thank you so much for being with us. I hope that it's going to be a great time. Georgetown, what it was 40 years ago to what it is today, and that's just in my little history, my little world, it's a whole new place. But it's because, in many ways, of people like you that have moved here from other areas. So thank you for all you do, and the best of good luck.
Thank you, Scott, very much. I appreciate this opportunity to share with your audience and the excitement and the opportunity of the Yuletide Home Tour. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you for watching or listening to Georgetown, the podcast. Learn more about the Hammock Coast and Georgetown. Read Georgetown Magazine in print, pick one up around Georgetown and along the Carolina coast. Or digitally, visit readgeorgetownmag.com.